Hey, Big Brother fans. Well, Quinn Martin is on the block and he wants to stay in the game. So he made a push to get votes in his favor, and it was hilarious. But Chelsie is salty about what he's doing, and Makensy is right there dissing him too. But I mean, it's standard on Big Brother to campaign, right? That's what you do. Let's dive into what is going on with the live feeds with Quinn and where the votes are falling, and whether Chelsea's going to get her way this week. So you should know by now that Quinn is on the block as a renom after Makensy used her golden power of veto to save Angela, who of course irritates most of the house guests and tends to turn on her allies, especially after they take her off the block. But it is Quinn on the block, and Angela's off and safe for another week. So he's sitting beside Kimo. But of course, you should know also by now that a large part of why Quinn is on the block is Leah. She threw his name out to Chelsie as a renom, and Quinn has to take some of the blame because he has enabled Leah to continue using him as a meat shield while disparaging him behind his back. If you recall, T'Kor, Rubina, and Kimo have all warned Quinn about Leah not being into him and talking smack behind his back for weeks, all the way back to, I think, like week 2 or something. And it's like Quinn's ears are not operational where she's concerned. They just shut down if the truth starts coming out about Leah not liking him. So right now we have got Quinn on the block. Leah spent the day pouting. Chelsea's annoyed, hiding up in her HOH room, doing Bible study. And of course, it's Quinn that's irritating Chelsie, who, by the way, she promised him he wouldn't hit the block because he saved her last week, and she has now betrayed his trust. And if he does go to jury, she's not getting his vote. She's not getting it. She's not going to get Leah's or his. Anyway, so Quinn wants to stay in the BB26 game, obviously, and he did a very funny little campaign to stay. And here's how it went. On Tuesday's live feeds, Quinn slipped back into his purple coveralls from the Build-A-Bot veto challenge. He found a stick thing, and he tied a bandana to it and cobbled together a hobo outfit, basically, a little hat and everything. Then Quinn went around like he was panhandling for votes. It was funny. All the house guests laughed, except for the ones up in the HOH room watching on the cameras, judging from on high. So Quinn headed into the bathroom with his little outfit and hat and a glass jar where he was collecting votes, doing this little routine. Quinn was going, spare votes to save, please. I'm just a man on the block with no other options.
Spare votes to stay, please.
It was very cute. Angela said she liked it. She was clapping and applauding.
I'm just a man on a block with no other options.
Okay, I like this one. Good job.
Then she pretended to toss a vote in his jar. And when she did it, he's like, oh, that's one baby. I'll take 19.
Spare votes to say, oh, that's one baby. I'll take 19. Okay.
T'Kor put in something tangible that was rattling, I think like one of her earrings. And Quinn said, that's huge. That's huge in this market. Then T'Kor gave him another one, and he starts shouting, double vote, double vote. It was really cute. Quinn kept working his way around the bathroom, doing spare vote, please. Just a single spare vote to stay.
Just a single spare vote to stay. Let's be abundantly clear with that. We're voting to stay.
And he said when he was leaving, he said that he had goals and aspirations once, and now I'm on the block. Hate to see it. What a fall from grace, folks.
Had goals, aspirations once on the block. You hate to see it. What a fall from grace, folks.
Like, he is being buoyant and he's in a good mood. He is campaigning, but he's keeping it light. He's not cornering people. He's not confronting. He's not reminding him of all the things they did for him. As a campaign goes, this is great, I think. So then Quinn goes upstairs and he finds Kimo, Makensy, Rubina, and Cam up by that fish area. And they're laughing with him, spare votes to stay. And then he said, think of the children. I don't know whose children, but it was Cute. So they wanted to know whose earrings that he collected in that glass, and Quinn quipped, "Sorry, sir, voter confidentiality." So Cam and Rubina gave him a little pretend vote. Makensy was up there too. And then he moved down the line. And then Kimo, who's also on the block, said, "Actually, can I take a couple?" So, this was what rubbed Chelsie the wrong way. That's just grumpy. And just for the record, that moment when Kimo asked Quinn if he could have 2 or 3 of his votes, that was the closest that Kimo has come to campaigning at all since the nominations were finalized. So Quinn knows he might be leaving, but he's making the best of it, having fun while he's still in the house. Kimo is not doing any work at all because he thinks he has it made. So is it a lock to get Quinn out? Well, there is a plan being discussed to try and save him, spearheaded by the one who told Chelsie to put him on the block. Yes, it is Leah, who just realized if the only simp that she has left is evicted, she's going to be on the block pretty soon. So despite Chelsie making it clear that Quinn's crush had campaigned against him and wanted him as the renom, our little chubby hubby chaser Leah spent the day being butthurt because he was renommed. He's sitting where she wanted him. So I don't know if she's gaslighting herself. She's been doing it to Quinn and Joseph, before he was evicted for so long. Maybe she just has a certain amount of gaslight she has to get out every day. Leah was off on her own, pouting, staring, glaring while everybody's having fun. She did finally join in when they were putting on tinfoil hats. So basically, Leah was behaving like Angela, but without the mean ad libs when people walked by. All Leah needs at this point is a meat and cheese meltdown, right? Even Quinn is not as upset as Leah is, and she's the one who did the damned thing. So Angela and Leah, if you didn't see it, had a little dust up on the live feeds after Angela ran up to Chelsie and said that Leah, Quinn, and a few others seemed to be forming an alliance. And later, Leah went off on Angela, who lied her butt off, saying it didn't happen that way. They were not setting up an alliance. They were just chatting. And Angela, you guys know, she watches, she spies, she gets paranoid, and then she reports back to people. So anyway, Angela and Leah worked through their kerfuffle, and then Leah went to work to try and get Angela to vote with her to save Quinn and evict Kimo. That was yesterday, by the way. And Leah actually convinced her, which, Angela already voted to evict Kimo last week when she didn't even have to. So, what's one more time? He can't really get madder because he'd be gone. So this was a solid start to the Save Quinn plan. But then, misstep. Leah talked to Makensy about it, hoping to secure her vote to save Quinn also. And after sleeping on it, Makensy trotted herself up to the HOH room and spilled the plan to Chelsie and Cam. So earlier in the week, Chelsie said she didn't care who was evicted. But then once she heard Leah was campaigning to save him, then she has changed her tune to no, Quinn has to go this week. She doesn't get to vote, So Makensy told Cam that Leah and Angela are also going to try to get his vote to make it 4 to evict Kimo and keep Quinn in the house because they figure at a tiebreaker Chelsie wouldn't go and save Quinn. So Cam had said earlier to Makensy and Chelsie that he would not vote to evict Kimo. And once he's hearing what Leah's up to, he said to them he definitely wouldn't vote to save Quinn. The thing is, no matter what Cam said in front of Chelsie and Makensy, there's a chance he would vote to keep Quinn based on some of his comments he's made in the diary room. And Cam did not hit the block when Quinn was head of household. It was Tucker who put him up there the week that Brooklyn went home. And Cam has no grudge against Quinn other than they both like to flirt with Leah. As for Makensy, she also likes Quinn a whole lot, and Kimo is not her ally. So think about how it's set up. All right. 9 people left in the House, minus 2 nominees and 1 HOH, 6 votes to be cast this week. Leah and Angela are on one side voting to save Quinn. T'Kor and Rubina on the other side voting to save Kimo. Chelsie doesn't want to break a tie, and the only way there's not a tie is if they do it this way. Basically, there's 2 people deciding who will be evicted. The swing vote belongs to Makensy and Cam. Now, if they vote to evict Quinn, what they're going to be facing after this week is a solid voting block of 4. Chelsie, Kimo, T'Kor, and Rubina. They're sticking together. And Angela and Leah were basically a twosome, and then Makensy and Cam are sticking close. They, are kind of a twosome in terms of voting, right? That means that alliance of 4 absolutely would be running the House if they get Quinn out. And of course, also importantly, and I don't know how much the guys have realized, but the women are about to run away with this thing. So for Makensy, that would be fine. If they took Kimo and then took Cam out and left her sitting to have the women all together. But for Cam, it's not going to be fine. And keeping Quinn in the House could be a big help to Cam because Kimo is not going to be helping him out or protecting him. That's not going to happen. And Makensy has to be aware that there's this power group of 4. And even if they're being nice to her now, she is at the bottom. She's just a number. And she maybe needs to think about that. There's still a couple of days left until live eviction on Thursday night. So definitely enough time for Makensy and Cam to do the math and see that they stand a better chance with Quinn there than without him because they are sitting ducks for the other side of the House to take out. If they evict Kimo, it would be a 5-3 split House. Think about that. It'd be Angela, Leah, Makensy, Quinn, and Cam versus T'Kor, Rubina, and Chelsie, with some pretty strong comp players on the 5 House guest side. That is probably the only scenario that would help Leah, Makensy, and Cam move forward next week and even have a shot at making it to the end. We'll have to see if they figure it out, because if they don't, then they have basically written a $750,000 check to somebody in that voting group of 4, Chelsie, T'Kor, Rubina, or Kimo. Tune in soon for more Big Brother Live feed updates.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.